Alrighty, what's up y'all? So I'm hoping that this video does not suck. I don't know how it's gonna look. I tried to pregame it with my little setup screen here on my Insta360 Go. I'm currently rocking the Insta360 Go 3 on my chest. Here's my viewfinder. I had to kind of lay this down, the camera itself, right between my chesticles a little bit. And I got my Insta360 1R over there, just trying to catch the brunt of the video. Kind of want this thing to point where I need it to point, but you know, I'm moving around and I got some boobies, so hopefully it'll catch what I need to catch. I had a request for a clutch lever free play adjustment, and I don't normally do this stuff like this, so this is my first time actually addressing a subscriber question, and my dog's looking at me like, what the hell are you talking about and who are you talking to? Anyway, again, I'm not a mechanic. It's my own personal motorcycle. I've had this thing for 7 years. Damn, it's 2024. I had a 2017. Whew. Anyway, I love my bike, and I'm going to show you how I adjust my clutch lever free play. If this works for you on your motorcycle, great, but this is specifically for the 2017 Kawasaki Ninja 1000. I've seen bikes with, I don't know, 1.5 inches, damn near 2-inch clutch play. I've seen chain slack adjustments that are ridiculous, mostly enduro bikes that can go off-road. So again, do anything that you see in this video at your own risk, and I'm gonna quit yapping and I'm gonna try to get to pointing. So basically, this is what you're trying to adjust here. This little gap, I don't know if the camera's gonna pick it up. Gotta hold up my chesticles. But that guy, this little bit of airspace, I did take some B-roll with my cell phone, Galaxy S23, so that in case this doesn't show up in the video while I'm yapping, that you can see what I'm actually pointing at. This little bit of space right here before the clutch, the clutch wire becomes taut and you can pull on the actual clutch. What you're doing is affecting this little guy right here. This is my clutch basket, this clutch case. Inside of there is the clutch basket with my plates and pressure disc and all that jazz. And what you're doing is you're moving this lever. Again, I'm gonna reach across the bike, try to point the camera down. So pull the lever, kind of see the slide kind of stop. You can see tiny movement. Again, I got some B-roll for this tiny movement. And then when I actually engage the clutch or disengage the clutch by pulling the lever, what that's doing is pulling this pivot point here. It's got a spring on it that returns it back to its location. But inside of here, there's a little rod, or a little shaft that goes down to a little push rod or pull rod inside of this case. And what that does is it pulls the clutch plates away from the clutch basket. The clutch basket is inside of this enclosure. It's always spinning. The clutch springs, a lot of people think that the clutch springs are boingy springs, but they're actually retention springs. They apply pressure to the friction plates that squeeze them onto the clutch basket, which spins, and it allows the clutch to move the bike and transfer the energy to the rear wheel. There is a video that I've watched explain this much better than I'm going to do it, and I'll link them in the description below. There's one with a good visual, and there's one with literally a guy taking apart his clutch. So basically, those springs keep pressure on the clutch plates, the friction disc, the inside spins, and then that in turn splines into the engine. The engine starts kicking power to the sprocket on this side, the front sprocket for the chain assembly, and that sprocket spins this way, turns the rear sprocket, kicks your tire, and makes you go juice, right? So in order for you to do that properly, you got to have good clutch lever play adjustment. Too tight of a clutch equals never really being able to disengage or to, hold on, I got this in words. Too tight means the clutch is always somewhat disengaged. It means there's always pressure on it. There's always kind of pulling the plates away from the friction disc, meaning you're kind of always in the friction zone. More wear and tear, you're going to get scorch marks. I've done it. Unfortunately, I didn't configure my clutch play properly before and burnt my clutch out, had to replace it. I'm dying, excuse me. This video is already way longer than it's supposed to be because I'm yapping. Clutch lever being too loose means no matter how much you pull on this clutch, you'll never be able to fully disengage the clutch. It means you're always under power. Kind of more dangerous than burning into the clutch friction zone, because if you're trying to stop, you pull in the clutch hoping to remove power from the rear wheel. If you pull in this clutch lever as far as you can go and you still can't get it to disengage the clutch, means you're still applying engine power to the rear wheel. bad juju for yourself, bad juju for anybody in front of you. So, in order to finally get to the meat of the video, I know, to adjust the clutch lever play for this bike, you unlock this lock nut, screw it counterclockwise, and you can effectively use all of the space in between the threaded area. I don't need to do that. My clutch lever is already adjusted, but for the purposes of this video, I want to loosen my clutch. So I would take that slack and bring it into the clutch lever, giving me more free play this way. It's fairly tight right now, but the clutch lever free play for my bike is about 2 to 3 millimeters, or just a pinch wider than your standard American nickel, right? Nickel, N-I-C-K-L-E, not nipple. If you got thin nips, then maybe you can use an adjuster free play. I don't know. So I'm going to take this. This is the adjuster nut. God, I'm hoping this is picking up. But if it doesn't, again, I'm going to put B-roll over it. You can screw, God dang it, screw it inwards, turn it clockwise. It ain't catching none of this. And my fingertips are burning because I cut my grass and my hands are sore. But you can see it kind of spinning. See the thread starting to disappear. It's pulling the clutch play this way. Is giving me more clutch wire, clutch cable to pull in. It's much looser now. You can't tell because you can't feel my clutch lever, but I can tell there's a lot of slack here now. And this gap, this guy is much bigger before I can feel it. Actually, that's so loose. Oh my God. Before I can actually feel the clutch start to pull, that spring start to engage, and me to start pick up any kind of tension, it's right about here. That is a lot of free play. That would not allow me to disengage the clutch because I'm not really pulling the friction plates all the way apart. I'd still be under power. Even though I'm pulling this much slack, it doesn't mean I'm fully disengaging the clutch. This clutch lever, this clutch cable is actually to the specific length required for this bike, right? So you can have, I'll try to explain it. It's kind of like the hell are those things? Freaking clothesline, right? My right hand is the clutch basket. My left hand is my clutch lever, right? So this length between this finger and this finger is never going to change. I didn't cut it, I didn't shorten it, I didn't lengthen it or nothing. But the amount of tension on it is changing. So when you pull the clutch lever in, what you're trying to do is pull enough of the tension this way to disengage the clutch and pull it away from the friction plates, right? So when you're doing that, you're pulling this way and this hand's going this way. This is how the clutch performs. Again, this is a poor demonstration. But if you're pulling and it's too tight, there's always some pressure on it and you're always going to be kind of in the friction zone. On the opposite end, if you're pulling and your clutch lever is too loose, nothing's happening over here. I really hate that fucking guy. I had to live through a small earthquake just now, sorry. So basically, if your clutch lever is too loose and you're pulling on this side, obviously there's nothing happening. When you increase the tension on that line just enough to get it perfect, you got a good balance in between your reaction time and the movement of the clutch, right? Too tight, too loose, perfect. Hopefully some of that made sense. Again, this video should not have been this long, and I hope you got something out of it because I was yapping for quite a bit because I needed to make the video a little bit longer. But what I'm going to do now is measure the distance between the caliper, or I'm sorry, I'm going to use a caliper, this little guy, and measure the distance between the current clutch play level. Point my boobies up. Holy crap, that's a lot of clutch play. So, we got there. 5 millimeters. Damn, that's about almost double what my clutch lever free play is supposed to be. So what I'm going to do is adjust this back down to where it's properly supposed to be, about 2 to 3 millimeters. So I'm going to take this out some. Again, I can feel where it's actually getting taut right there, and then I can feel the grab on the clutch right there. And then I can feel the grab on the clutch. So I'm going to take my measurement tool back in, zero it, pull, expand the tool. I'm still a little over. I'm at about 3.3. Again, 2 to 3 millimeters for the clutch play adjustment on this. And this is ballparking it, right? So when you get on your bike, you're going to have to actually feel out when the clutch starts to disengage and engage from your friction zone. I'm at about 2.46 and I'm comfy there. I kind of like a tight clutch, a little bit tighter. My friction zone, the way I ride my bike is I like the friction zone to pick up a little bit closer for better takeoff. Pull it again, shove it in a hole, giggity. Measure about 2.2, 2.19 millimeters. So that's where I'm gonna leave it. Pull my nut down, lock it. That baby's not gonna move. Again, very slowly ride your motorcycle, I will very slowly ride this motorcycle back and forth in the garage. I will go into the friction zone and I will engage the clutch, and then I will pull the clutch in and disengage the clutch. Pull the clutch lever in and disengage the clutch. If I feel the bike dragging any, it means it's not tight enough and I'm not fully pulling the clutch in. If I let the clutch out, this will have to be under gas, and I feel like it's kind of jerky or slipping, it means it's too tight and the clutch is not fully clamping down because I got too much pressure pulling the plates away. Hopefully some of that made sense. Hopefully the person that this video was targeted for gets something out of it. Again, pay more attention to the videos that I'm going to post in the description. I'm done yapping. This took way too long. I'm out.